There's a new magnetic mount, 3 new lenses, redesigned battery, magnetic charging. These are just some of the highlights from the latest flagship GoPro, the Hero 13. Earlier this year, GoPro promised us more cameras coming from the company, and some of you were hoping for a 1-inch sensor Hero camera. It's not here yet. I don't know if it's coming. Some of you were hoping for the new 360 camera. It's not here yet, but apparently it's coming. Today, GoPro announced the Hero 13, bunch of new lenses, and the smaller Hero camera. But not everything is available today. So let's talk about what is, and also, is GoPro doing enough to fight off competition? Okay, first things first. GoPro Hero 13 isn't introducing any major changes to its specs. It is still 5.3K, up to 30 frames per second, 4K up to 120 frames per second. It can still film in G-Log, and it has 10-bit colors. Photos at 27 megapixels, videographs at 23. Its hyper smooth stabilization, it's still the same, and GoPro's image quality was already pretty good, but I think this sensor is showing its age. But there are some changes. The one big change is that we're getting proper HLG HDR filming. It is not that easy to show in this video, so I've attached comparison files in the description below for you to download. And another change is that GoPro is including in-camera noise reduction. It works well, and you can select how much noise reduction you'd want to include. So yeah, there is some low light improvement, but I still wish maybe GoPro went for a slightly larger sensor. I think performance of these cameras past ISO 400, 800 just doesn't cut it for me anymore. The other big new thing this year is actually the accessory ecosystem for GoPro. So let's talk about these lenses. GoPro is introducing 3 of them: macro, ultrawide, and anamorphic. I'm very excited by the last one, but it will not be available till 2025. All of these lenses get auto-detected by the camera once you attach them, and they customize your menu option as well, which is super neat. I really like how this works. The macro lens is available now, and I think a lot of people will find this useful. It creates some subject separation, and it gives your GoPro a new look, something that has been missing for a few years. The focus ring feels nice and solid. However, the closest distance it can focus at is about 4 inches, and that really isn't that close for a macro lens. So if you're looking to get some gritty detailed shots, you're probably better off with just a phone that has macro capabilities. You can turn on focus peaking so you can tell what is in focus easier, but I really think it's time for GoPro to also make this back screen larger. I'm having a hard time seeing what I'm focused at, and some shots turn out worse because of it. Okay, ultrawide is next. I was excited to try out the ultrawide lens because I just love that ultra-wide look, but I was a little disappointed once I realized that optically, this is the exact same lens as the Maxma 2 from last year. The year-over-year changes actually with the camera. The GoPro Hero 13 can now film in 10-bit and log while using one of those lenses, as opposed to 8-bit in standard color with the Max Mod on the Hero 12. If you stick to your old Max Mod 2, the only real thing that you're losing is the auto detect feature. And lastly, not a new lens, but GoPro's own ND filters. They're kind of like smart ND filters. These get auto detected by the camera. For folks who want to stick to lower frame rates and get more motion blur, it's super useful. It is also useful that the camera itself will let you know if your ND filter is a little too weak or too strong, and if you need to swap it out. It is a super handy feature that eliminates fiddling with settings and makes it a lot more approachable to people who just don't want to spend time learning about this stuff. GoPro is all about getting the best shot in the easiest way possible, and this neat feature truly speaks to that mission. I think these NDs might be my favorite accessory released this year. But the bad news is that none of these lenses will work with any of the older Hero cameras. This is Hero 13 onwards. So those are the lenses, and there are some new other improvements and some old features that are making a comeback. GPS is back, so you can add overlays like G-force, speed, maps, and such. It was removed from Hero 12, people got mad, myself included, and now it is back. There is an entirely new battery, and the battery has always been GoPro's weak point. It would constantly make your GoPros just turn off at the worst possible time. This 1900 milliamp battery here promises anywhere between 40 and 60 minutes of continuous filming, and 90 minutes of general use with airflow and such. I still need to do a little bit more testing, but my early signs are positive. I had to swap out the battery once during our 2.5-hour jet ski trip, and overall, I'm getting about 20% better performance when filming continuously while walking outside with both of these cameras in 65-degree weather. Oops. Okay, a little bit of context on the battery test that I did. By the way, I'm talking to you through the AirPods that are connected to the GoPro. So tell me how that sounds. It didn't sound that great last year. Maybe it's better this year. So my first test was 5.3K, 30 frames per second between the 12 and the 13. That's where I got the 20% performance increase. My next test, which happened yesterday, was 4K 60 frames per second, both cameras running continuously, hyper smooth on, high bitrate, 10-bit color, standard profile, and the Hero 12 turned off with 40% of battery left, while the Hero 13, it just kept going until it drained its battery. So the first test showed this 20% increase, which is decent, but the second one actually showed us that the thermal management of this battery is a lot better than before. So if that's your use case, we'll be pretty happy with that. I'm glad to see improvements here, but I'm not blown away by this battery, but it is better. DJI Osmo's Action, while I haven't tested it, rates theirs for 2.5 hours. This magnetic mount is also new and it works great. I'm also glad that GoPro kept the classic fingers. In fact, GoPro still recommends using those if there's a lot of vibration. I do wish there was a way to mount the camera just on its sides for native vertical filming, but maybe this can be added to a protective case later on. One more new accessory, there is the new waterproof magnetic charging, which is optional and will cost you $79, and it is fine. I don't necessarily love proprietary cables, and I will likely stick to USB-C when traveling, but it does make it easy to charge the GoPro without needing to open the side door, especially if you're doing a time lapse or something. And lastly, there is the super slow motion mode. I can't believe I'm talking only about it now, but it films in short bursts up to 15 seconds, and that footage is 8-bit, but it still looks pretty good. I think it's one of those features that's very unique to the GoPro, and I really like it. And that's the GoPro Hero 13. Now look, we've been talking about the action camera market plateauing for a little while now, and to some extent I have to agree. Even though its stabilization is great, it hasn't changed in a few years. And again, I think GoPro is getting as much as they can out of the smaller sensor. I wish they went for the bigger one. And the rest of the hardware remains unchanged, aside for some cosmetic touch-ups. But GoPro is trying some new ideas here, while addressing customers' concerns, and I'm glad there is a new battery system, I'm glad there's a new mount, and a proper HDR. The company has done well with improving Hero's overall reliability year over year as well, and I am very curious to see more of new lenses and what this actually leads to. GoPro's Hero camera hasn't changed drastically this year, but they have expanded their ecosystem with their lenses. And another part of that ecosystem is its cloud subscription, which is awesome. It enables one extremely useful feature. As soon as you plug in your camera to charge, it offloads footage to its cloud. This feature alone makes it hard for me to even look elsewhere when picking a new camera, even though I'm fully aware that some of the other cameras have better batteries and better image quality. And the Hero remains one of those cameras that will always find a room in my bag, and each summer and winter I get reminded why I love using them so much. But it is increasingly hard to find reasons to upgrade your GoPro year over year. That decision truly depends on which GoPro you're using right now and what you actually use it for the most. One cool thing that we did for this video is went to jet ski on the Hudson, which sounds disgusting, and it is, but I survived. And honestly, I haven't been able to lift my arms or walk properly ever since that day. So yeah.